Drafting the Magic features the thoughts and opinions expressed by Christian Ilton, Eric Pesolano, and today's guest, and do not in any way reflect the views or opinions of the Walt Disney Company or any of its subsidiaries. Christian, it's almost Halloween. You know what that means? We got to talk about, maybe not so much spooky things, but how about scary things today? Let's talk about some villains.
Yes, let's talk about it. Some of the best, but not just villains, because I mean, there's amazing villains in all of Disney's big umbrella, but villains you can see and or hear and or participate with on the attractions in the theme parks that we love, both Walt Disney World and Disneyland Resort eligible today. We're going coast to coast, and we're choosing up our best villains. This will be fun.
Yeah, it really is. And, I think when we started the podcast and we were just kind of doing generic ideas, right? Best rides at Disneyland. But
Sure.
now we're getting into the nitty-gritty of things. And this isn't one of the combinations that we've selected yet. This is a brand new thing for us. So I'm excited to see how this goes. And I think this has a lot of potential today.
Yeah, I think we do too. It should be a good one. But before we get to that, make sure you like, subscribe, follow on Instagram, X, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, some other random podcast company that somehow gets this distributed to it. I don't care where you are. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you love, make sure you're following along with all of our reels and everything else going on TikTok, on Instagram. We're having so much fun clipping up all of our videos and making them, I don't know, shorts or reels or whatever TikToks are called. But we're going to find our way into your For You page however we can. Now, let's get to our guest judge. We've got Colton Kingston all the way from Texas joining us. Colton, welcome to the show.
Thank you guys so much for having me and for kind of fitting this in with my schedule being on a different time zone than y'all. It's been wonderful.
Hey, that's part of the complication whenever we record a podcast where we have a video interface. Is we got to make
Mhm.
sure everybody's on the same time zone because your boy isn't that great at that. But anyway, before we get into our crazy draft of Disney villains that you get to see on attractions at the Disney parks, tell us a little bit about you, how you fell in love with Disney, and especially your love for villains, and where people can find out more about you.
Yeah, so my love of Disney has been a part of my story since I was a kid. I was very fortunate to be one of those families that got to go to Disney periodically. We always went to Disney World, just being kind of closer, I would say, to Florida than California. We'd go with my family, my extended family, grandparents, all that stuff, and I would go so many times that it kind of just became my culture in a way, or like in the fabric of who I am. It's like, oh, I have to go to Disney, even as an adult. And some of my best memories are at Disney, particularly with my dad. And those are, I hold those so tight to me that it's like going to Disney is like going home. It's like a second home to me, to the point where now I'm like seeing my niece and nephew fall in love with Disney. So to see another generation kind of fall in love with Disney the same way I did has been so amazing to witness. And then I fell in love with villains probably over the last 5 years, only because I personally feel villains have the best stories. I really do. I am bored to tears about heroes. I'm like, okay, it's basically the same thing over and over again. They're gonna have a challenge. They're gonna raise the bar. They're gonna overcome the odds. Boring. Villains are, I'm gonna get a little nerdy here, but they're integral to Disney stories. You can't have a totem for good without a totem of evil. And I think I remember someone said this in an interview where heroes go through the same trials almost, or some of the same circumstances as villains. And heroes say, I went through this and I will do everything in my power to protect people from going through this again. Whereas villains said, I went through this and now I'm going to take it out on people because I went through this. And it's the same dichotomy, but just different paths. And I think Disney has some of the best villains, the best IPs, the best characters. And so I am super excited that Disney's adding a Villains Land. I'm like, about time.
Yes.
So that's my kind of history in a nutshell in Cliff Notes version. But and then if you ever want to find my reels, my Instagram and TikTok is Colton and the Castle. We've been doing this for a little over a year. It's insane just how much traction we've gained in doing videos for a year. But I found my little community of people who love just dumb reels, Disney reels that are dumb comedy or sometimes poking fun at the company because the company does things that we scratch our head at. But then all in all are just experiences that everyone can at least say, oh, I know how that feels, or I've seen that at the park, or that has been me at times, is the kind of my bread and butter of appealing to the Disney community.
I do love the thought about the heroes and villains
Hmm.
dichotomy, about
Hmm.
how it's just the direction that one or the other
Oh
chooses.
yeah.
And Christian and I were talking before we started the recording today that it's sad that there's a bunch of villains that we cannot take today because they're not on an attraction.
Hmm.
And we
Yet.
can't talk about, yeah, yet. Um, and it's also the reason why Tiana's Bayou Adventure will not be selected today because there's no conflict and everybody gets upset about it, and I might be one of them.
And real quick about that ride, I rode it at Disneyland for the anniversary, and everyone told me you're gonna get wet. That was a lie. I got assaulted. Like I was in the front row, and people told me that I took the warnings, but I didn't listen. And people were like, "You will get obliterated," and I was like, "That's fine. I'm totally fine." And it's kind of a warm day, whatever. The first wave wasn't bad. It's the second wave. Everyone thinks the third drop when you go all the way down is
Hmm.
the bad one. No, it's the second one.
Mm-mm.
I had water all I look like I was in the eye of the hurricane that Hamilton sings about. Like I look like a wet rat, and I got off, and even the cast members were like, you look like you've seen some things. And I was like, I did. Like I was submerged. I was waterboarded on this ride and no one told me. And the best part is on Disneyland, they have these little like feet things that you can put up on the rails on the sides. No one told me about the either. So you could put your feet up on that and avoid getting your feet soaked, your
Mhm.
shoes soaked. No one told me that. So I was just sloshing around Disneyland. You could hear me coming from a mile away. It was
Well,
just like,
maybe maybe that's the villain on the attraction is the water
yes,
The
itself.
water. The
yes.
water is the villain. I'm
I
gonna
was like,
make
the
that
fact that
note.
this is Tiana, this should have been Moana. Like this, the wave just tidal
Yep.
waved me. It was
Oh
terrible.
my goodness. Yeah, well, I love it. I will consider the water on Tiana's Bayou Adventure, formerly the Splash Mountain, as the villain because it is.
Hmm.
It's pretty, and it's disgusting too.
Oh yeah.
It's I hate when I see like people like scoop it and like drink it. I'm like, I mean, I'm curious, but I'm not that curious.
No, therapy. I'm sorry. I'm the first one that's like, you've been hurt and you need to find out where the trauma began. Because if you put your hand in water that a mechanism, a ride, mechanical ride
Uh-huh.
is in,
Mhm.
you are asking for something. You are
Yeah.
just asking. Or like people who get off on rides like Pirates or It's a Small World. I'm like, no, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no. Like,
Yeah.
stay in the boat. You hands and
There's
feet inside the boat at all times.
there's a
As
reason they tell you to stay inside.
you
It's
know, as a former cast member who used to work at
yep.
Small World,
Well, I
I
didn't do that.
can vouch for that. Yeah, no,
Uh, I,
but I
I, I will say, It's a Small World. You could get someone to talk if you keep them on that ride. It's like a torture device. I'm like, if we ever need secrets, put our biggest enemy in that ride, lock it, and don't let them out, and just have that song playing on a continuous loop because they will sing like a canary. I promise you. Because that happened to me one time. I got stuck, and I was like, I think this is my hell. Like this is my hell on earth. It's getting stuck on this ride and having nowhere to go, and just a bunch of children being like, "It's a world of laughter, a world of," and I'm like, "Oh God."
there's I've got so many stories I can tell you, not on this podcast.
Yeah.
It's
We'll talk
just
after. We'll talk after.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right, well, let's get to it then. This is
Yes.
Drafting the Magic, episode 53, and we are talking coast to coast. We're doing Walt Disney World and Disneyland villains that you see on the attractions, the antagonists of the attraction, whatever it might be. And we have Colton Kingston with us here for this draft as our guest judge. I get the first pick, and this is such a good thing because there
Well,
are.
wait, wait,
Oh, wait, we have
wait.
to talk about rules. We
We
forgot
got to
last
talk
time.
about
Let's do
rules.
it
We
this
forgot it
time.
last time too. All right, first rule, everybody knows what it is. We have to have experienced the
Mhm.
attraction, which, again, in this case, since we're doing coast to coast, gives Christian a little bit of the advantage. Plus, he
Yeah.
has the first pick. But the big rule for today involves our constraints about what we can select. So the first three picks, one has to be a villain from a live action movie, one has to be a villain from a Disney animation film, and one has to be a villain from a Pixar movie. So the last two picks can be whatever, but the first three are stuck in those constraints, Christian.
Yes, I like this. I like adding a little extra leveling, except when I was like, wait, I don't know if I have enough. Oh no, oh, okay, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. So, but the option on this that I'm the most worried about is the live action option
Okay.
because I have plenty of Pixar options that I love here. Like if
Mhm.
you were to take my favorite Pixar one, I'm not afraid of losing that because I've got some great Pixar ones. Same with the Disney animation. But when it comes to live action, I think of one movie and one attraction that inspired that movie. Give me my favorite movie of all time,
I don't know
possibly
what
one of
this
my
is,
favorite villains of all time.
and I don't think I know what this
I
is.
don't think you do. Give me Captain Barbossa on Pirates of the Caribbean as my first pick in this draft. I love Barbosa. He is one of my favorites. I will tell you right now, when I was in the theater and like I saw his shoe at the end of that post-credit scene where the monkey was bringing him back because because that's what pirate monkeys can do is bring dead people back to life. Because that's common knowledge. I think we all know that. I was through the roof, and I love when they put him on the attraction. I'm really annoyed that he doesn't have the Black Pearl. Like, why is he just driving this other ship? Like, when we did the Big Pirates remake, I feel like we could have done this. I don't know. But give me Barbossa here in round one, Eric.
I
The first Pirates of the Caribbean, easily one of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh, I don't think I knew that, and I
Easily.
appreciate that
Mm,
because I enjoyed it that much as
yeah.
well. Um,
Anyway.
you and I, before we got on here, talked about what are we going to do for live action because
Mhm.
there wasn't a whole lot of
We
options,
didn't
and
give
I
each other hints, but we were
we
both thinking that.
right we were very generic. When you and I talk about the drafts, we never
Yep.
speak in
No.
specifics. It's always
No.
like, oh, I know, I've got two, right?
No.
I told you I
No.
had two, and Barbosa was one of my two, and I will tell you that he was my backup plan.
Oh,
So
interesting.
I'm excited.
Interesting. The really cool thing is we get to find out what Colton's thoughts are on this. Colton, what do you think of me going to Pirates of the Caribbean, Captain Barbossa here in the first round?
That is a good pick because when you said live action, I was like, I don't know where y'all are gonna
Yeah.
go with that,
Yeah.
because a lot of the live action villains are
Hmm.
kind of missed for me.
Yeah.
My personal favorite is Gal Gadot.
Mm.
Wink, wink, wink. A lot of people love that performance. But no, I think Pirates. Captain Barbossa is a great pick, solid pick. That ride is beloved by many Disney fans when it works. But
True.
I have to agree. We're no Black Pearl, like that's the whole movie, and we don't
Yep.
even see it. But yeah, I think that is a solid first pick. Absolutely.
Yes. Yes. All right. Cool. I'm feeling good after round one, but we're going to get to go to Eric's round one. And
Mhm.
now the other thing, and Colton, we didn't really talk to you about this, but because I
Mhm.
took a live action, Eric doesn't have to do that until the third round because I can't take another
Mhm.
live
Oh,
action until the third round. So
okay.
he can let that rest a little bit. He can cherry. I mean, he could still go to it if he really likes it enough, but I don't know if that would be the
No,
best strategy.
I already
So,
wrote it in as my number
all
three,
right. Fair
so we're
enough.
good. But that means I can go Disney Animation or Pixar here at
Hmm.
number one. And I was really hoping I could take this as one of my top three because when we're talking villains and incorporating the actual guest as part of the story, and you kind of get to live what's going on in there. Christian, where did I spend most of my career at Disney when it comes to attractions?
Star Tours. What are you doing here?
No,
No?
that was a shorter part of my career.
That
Where
was
did
a
I spend
shorter part of it. Oh, was
most
it
of my attractions career?
Fantasyland?
Oh, it was in
It was in
Fantasyland, my friend.
Fantasyland. I don't know which one you're gonna go with here, though.
Well, what's the darkest story we have in Fantasyland?
It's a Small World. Anyway, it's the song from It's a Small World.
I'm taking just the song from Swat. Yeah.
No, it's got to be what? You're gonna go Pinocchio here?
Nope.
Oh no, you're
No.
gonna go Mr. Toad. You're going to hell.
Nope. You
Oh
said
man,
Pinocchio. You said Pinocchio. I'm moving next door. I've got the Evil Queen at number one, man.
Ooh.
I had it on my list already. Regardless of any mug that I may have seen earlier, I had already planned on it, so don't worry about it. It's another one of those where you feel like you are being personally pursued.
Mhm.
So I like the Evil Queen here, man. I'll take it at number one for my
That's
Disney
not
animation selection.
bad. One of the most famous for sure. I mean, one of the
Mhm.
Mhm.
most notorious. Colton, what do you think of the Evil Queen going here in round one?
And I just to clarify, we're talking Disneyland or are we talking the
I
mine
guess
train of Disney
both.
World?
I mean,
Disney.
either.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's once again another solid pick. Classic Disney. I think people forget that character a lot, just
Mhm.
because they have, you have Ursula, Hades, Maleficent. But yeah, a great character. And I don't know if is that considered a two character choice because she has a double face. She
She
has
does have a
the
two
evil
face.
hag,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
she has the evil queen. So is that like you're kind of sliding in two characters in one
Mm.
sitting? I don't know. But
I just from my own personal standpoint when making the selection, I see it
uh,
as the same person. You're right. It's a
Yeah.
double persona, but it physically is the same person.
yeah.
So I would
Okay.
look at it
Okay.
as one, but hey,
Okay.
being dynamic like that certainly doesn't hurt.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right.
Okay.
See, so we'll see how Colton judges this all at the very end of this.
And both of these options have witty comebacks. They read people for filth. I mean,
Mm,
Captain Barbossa reads Jack Sparrow
mm,
constantly,
yep.
and then I don't know if you've ever watched The Evil Queen on TikTok, but the cast member who portrays her is probably the funniest person I've ever
Mm.
seen in the parks.
See,
I
there you
used to
go.
walk around the land and see her quite often. Yep.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
I'm
Oh
like
my
every time I see
gosh.
her, I'm like, call me a peasant. I just want to
Yeah,
hear
I
it.
just want to hear
Please,
it.
please. Anyway. All right, well, that's round one. I think a good
Okay,
round one. We haven't had a lot of good round ones recently.
yeah.
So
Right.
this is a good round one.
That was a good round
And
one.
now we go to round two. And I'm actually really glad you went with the Evil Queen because now I get my top pick in every single spot.
Hmm.
And apparently you might, well, I might take your favorite Pixar, but you got your top animated. You apparently have your top live action still waiting in the wings. But I'm going to go with my top Pixar here. And in the same way that Eric went, okay, yeah, you've got to kind of go along with what the guest is doing. Well, this villain is so bad that both the Magic Kingdom and the Disneyland Resort, Disneyland specific, have enlisted the guests to help defeat the evil Emperor Zurg. Give me Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters / Space Ranger Spin / if they're going to change the name when they redo this Magic Kingdom thing, whatever. Give me Emperor Zurg here. I think that this is a formidable villain that I think is scary enough, but at the same time, it's okay enough that the kids can interact with him. But I mean, I'm just saying, I would love an evil Emperor Zurg meet and greet any day of the week. That would be sick. But regardless, he is probably my favorite Pixar villain. Going back to, I mean, even the first Toy Story, I know Sid was really the villain, but there were allusions to the evil Emperor Zurg, and then we finally got the payoff in Toy Story 2, with one of my favorite sequences in Disney movies. So I'm going evil Emperor Zurg here, Eric.
Yeah, I like that. I like it a lot. I put two Pixar characters on my
Mm,
list, and he
he
was
was
one of
number two.
them. No, he was my first. So
Okay,
you
good.
got, I think you and I are both on the same path about that
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
So now I gotta rethink because actually in my head I just thought of a third one. So now I've got to
Mm.
figure out how I'm gonna play that here in a minute.
Now we'll have to see. Colton, what do you think of the evil Emperor Zurg going here in round two?
That is a good pick. That's not the first character I think of when I think of
Mm.
Pixar, but I
Okay.
will say I do love that he is the central part of the ride at Disney
Hmm.
World or Disneyland. That ride makes or breaks families. Like Toy Story Mania, you go in as family and you leave as mortal
Yep.
enemies because I don't know who you are in that ride.
Mhm.
Like
Yep.
I'm there to get the highest score of
Hmm.
the car or of the day if I can. And I also love that they kind of connected the story arc of that character to Star Wars. Like it kind of is
Hmm.
like a
Very
wink
much
wink.
so.
Like I was like that was for the Star Wars fans. I love it. But yeah, solid choice. Solid choice.
Very much so. Fantastic. I will
Okay.
take that. That makes me happy. And I feel good in round two. Now, Eric, your round two. I would assume you are going. Well, you said you wrote in your live action for three. So
Yeah.
here we're going Pixar. Let's see where you go.
Man, I told you I thought of another one too, and now I'm leaning toward that third one.
Mm.
I'm just off the top of my head trying to make sure I didn't forget anybody because that's usually what happens. I write down as many as I possibly can, and sometimes I just miss one or two, and it just totally escapes my mind. So I've got two right now that I can decide between, and one of them I feel like, oh gosh, actually both of these it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough. Are they actually the villain of the attraction, or are we just looking at, maybe the villain of the movie?
Mm.
I
I think it's okay either way. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's going to be hard to offset Zurg, to be honest with you. I
It's
knew
true.
that kind of going in that if I wouldn't get that, it's going
Although
to be tough to match Pixar.
apparently
But
it's not even Colton's first one he thinks of.
I know,
So
so now I got to figure out what is he thinking of. I'm trying to run through my brain. Did I miss anything in World? Did I get everything at Land? Okay. All right, I made my decision.
Ooh,
I am not a fan of the attraction. I am not. I
no one
don't
is. I know what you're talking about already.
don't like it. He knows what I'm talking about already.
No one's a fan.
I love the movie. It was a great movie. I don't fit in there, and it hurts. I'm
Hmm.
gonna I'm gonna go with Bruce, the shark. I'm gonna take him from Nemo. I'll take him
Mm.
as my Pixar qualifier here at number two.
Bruce was on my short list of options for the round four and five because I didn't know if you would go there.
Yeah.
Um, Bruce is a formidable enemy in this. Like, hello, name's Bruce. Fish are friends, not food. But boy, does he get hungry during that movie. So I would say, yeah, he is the villain. That's a good one. Colton, what do you think of Brucey going here?
And this is in the submarine. I'm just making
Yeah,
sure I'm
yes.
okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So, not like good choice. Nothing says, evil like a shark, but also cramped spaces.
Yes.
Because I'm 6'2", so anytime I have to be in a cramped space, I'm like, oh, get me out of here. And the submarine is like the worst location.
Maybe that's the true villain of the attraction
The
is space.
submarine. I'm like putting anybody in a closed space with a bunch of people that can't leave. Like, yeah. But yeah, I mean, oh, these are two good villains. That
Hmm.
oh, it's just good choices.
All
Yeah,
right, I
there we
feel a little
go.
better than I did a
Mhm.
minute ago because I wasn't sure how that was going to go over. I'm 6'3", by the way, so I feel you.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
the plight
Mhm.
of tall people.
You know how many times I've hit my head on the hat, the hatch when you go
Yeah.
down? Oh.
Oh yeah.
Yuck.
It's the same with Jungle Cruise. It's like that little
Hmm.
drop off, and I hit the ceiling
Bang.
of that boat every time.
Yep. I will say the worst enemy on that submarine voyage ever, in the nicest way possible, was the family I sat next to one time. That didn't they had been at the park for a while. We'll just say that. And it smelled
Oh
like it.
yeah.
And then I also got positioned right in between them
They needed a little
and
pixie dust. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
shoes of
Yeah.
the cast member that was operating the attraction,
Hmm.
just standing. It's like if I'm standing this close to somebody's shoes, we got it anyway. Interesting.
Magical.
Yeah,
Magical.
magical. It was
My
great.
personal favorite is when someone's kid is having a meltdown, and I'm like, you took them in a violent state and put them in a closed off
Mhm.
place where none of us can leave, and
This is
we're
probably going
just
to go
here we're
great.
just hearing screaming for the whole time. Great,
Yeah,
love that.
thanks. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. All right, round three here. I get to go to my favorite Disney animated character. Or what is it? Walt Disney Studios animated Disney,
Hmm.
whatever we classified it as. One of the best, and honestly, one of the reasons probably why I love pirates so much is because of Captain Hook. Give me Captain Hook here in round three. As a kid, I remember being terrified of Captain Hook, and so he is easily one of my favorites. My favorite color is red. I don't know if that has anything to do with him wearing a red coat in my childhood that now I love red, or maybe it's just my favorite baseball team that disappoints me every single season. It's fine. We're here. But give me Captain Hook here, Eric, in round three.
Had him on my list
Mhm.
also. Thought about it. The reason I leaned toward the Evil Queen was because I felt like you were more being attacked by the villain, if that makes sense.
Sure,
Whereas with Hook, it's you're more looking over what's going on.
sure.
That was the only difference between the two for me.
Mhm.
So yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think you're good. Yeah.
Love Hook. Colton, what do you think?
Along with the Evil Queen, Captain Hook is a great selection. I personally feel also that he is underutilized. I mean, he's a
Very.
great character. I do know that they added him to the variety show at Hollywood Studios, the
Hmm.
villain variety show, which I agree was a good choice. And when I think of Captain Hook, I think of how many people have played this character, and I'm thinking of which actor was my favorite. I was like, that's not even part of the game. I'm supposed to think about the ride and the ride only, but I'm
Exactly.
thinking of Dustin Hoffman
Oh
in
Yeah,
Hook,
yes,
$100%.
absolutely.
and how I like that. That is a great character, and
Oh, so good.
yeah, I especially if you're a kid, you're like, oh, a grown up that wants me to grow up. No, don't like
Hmm.
it.
Oh yeah. Well, and then just the thought of losing your hand and like instead of having a prosthetic hand like we have here in 2025 or what like,
Yeah.
somebody no, you just got a hook. Yeah,
And
hook's
then
gonna
a
be fine.
crocodile is following you
Yeah,
everywhere
yeah, yeah.
you go.
TikTok the croc, let's
Terrifying.
go.
Yes.
So yeah, I'll take Captain Hook here in
Okay.
round three. Eric,
Yeah,
your round three, you're going live action.
going live action.
I've thought of a couple of other live action characters that could go, but I'm very curious as to which one you are going to take.
I've talked about it already with the Evil Queen about villains coming after you. I think that's kind of a huge part to all of this. So for live action purposes, and I think the best villain, the best way they've had a villain come after the guest has to be Kylo Ren. It's
Mm.
got to be for me. And I, like I said, when you took Barbosa, I was so excited that Kylo Ren was there because those were the two live action ones I had. But
Yeah.
Kylo was my number one, man. The very first time you go on there and you're, watching the projection of him walking after you, and then, the door slams shut and the lights, spoiler alert, the lightsaber comes through the ceiling.
Hmm.
And
Oh, it's such a great moment.
what a great moment. And then of course the end where he's controlling the vehicle, right? I mean, that's top tier for me. And that's my true number one overall pick for any
Mm.
attraction villain right now. But I was able to take him at three, so I put him there.
It's a pretty good pick. I as much as I hate Kylo the character, from the movie, yeah, like, I think there are some character traits that could be adjusted. Um, like the with the kiss at the end. Why did they have to kiss? Anyway, well, let's move on. That's not in the ride, thank God. But Colton, what do you think of Kylo Ren here in round three?
Kylo Ren is a solid choice. Rise of the Resistance and Peter Pan, I feel like are Disney at its greatest when they work.
Yeah.
Because Peter Pan is old school, kind of
Hmm.
how to create a ride from like original Imagineers to current rides that are Rise of the Resistance. I see both of these as Disney as their best.
Mm.
Kylo Ren is definitely I will say, even though you don't like the story arc or the character, love the outfit.
Oh
I
yeah,
can say that.
absolutely. Yeah.
He has one of my favorite outfits in all of Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
But I also like seeing him interact with people in the parks. So
Hmm.
I
Oh
think that's a
yeah.
good, yeah, I think that's a
See,
good
because they made him
choice.
scary in the parks versus in the movies where they made
Well,
him feel like he would be a
I think
pushover.
they make him kind of sassy, and I love
Hmm.
it. I
That's
love it when
true.
a
Yeah.
villain is just reading people, and it's
Hmm.
the best. It's kind of like Evil Queen in the park, it's just reading people for filth. I love it.
I can't
Yeah.
I can't wait for the day where in an attraction when you are on a vehicle that the animatronic more um will interact with you more organically, right? And I'm
Hmm.
sure I'm sure AI is going to have a lot to do with it, but
I hope not.
I know, but it's gonna. But I mean,
Yeah.
but from a point of, there's generic phrases that
Hmm.
come out of what's her name on Monsters Inc. Rose
Roz,
Roz.
Ross, thank you.
you didn't
Um
file your paperwork last night. Was
right,
asking.
where they're talking at you, but it's
Hmm.
all pre-programmed
Hmm.
stuff. But when we get to a point in time, and I don't know if it'll be while we're around, but where they can actually interact and call you out while you're in a ride vehicle, I think
Yeah.
one day, whenever that is, that's what I'm looking forward to.
I think that's the next step of Imagineering. It's just
Hmm.
I always like, how do we preserve people's jobs and
Hmm.
creativity, but still reach
Hmm.
that next level? It's exciting
Hmm.
to think about.
All right.
Okay.
Well, That was a good round three. Now we're gonna go to round four, and I'm actually really excited about my round four pick.
Okay.
This villain is such a big villain, but he's not around all the time. He's only around some of the time. And he's such a big deal that in Disneyland Resort, at the Disneyland Resort, we name a whole party after him. Give me Oogie Boogie from Haunted Mansion Holiday and the Oogie Boogie Bash, of course, here at Disney California Adventure. But that character, I don't even know if he's that scary in the ride. Like it's just like, oh yeah, but that character has developed such a fanfare that he is growing and he's becoming a bigger and bigger deal every single year. Give me Oogie Boogie, I guess specifically on the Haunted Mansion Holiday out here at the Disneyland Resort, Eric. Me going temporary. I don't always do this, but I'm going here.
No, that's quite a left turn that I did not see
Hmm.
coming. I will
Hmm.
tell you that right now. I love the layover during the holidays. I think it lasts maybe a little bit too long, just because
Agree.
Mansion's my favorite attraction of all time.
Mm, mm.
But I mean, I love what they do with it for the holidays. I think it was a brilliant choice because it covers two holidays, and from an operational standpoint, hi, my background. I think that's a brilliant idea. So that way you're
Yep.
not changing it too much
Hmm.
too often. But no, I like it. Well done, my
All
friend.
right, let's see if Colton likes Oogie Boogie. I know
I
he's not on your sweatshirt. I know that they don't have an Oogie Boogie enlisted with all the rest of the villains, but
no,
we'll see if he
no.
likes Oogie Boogie or not.
I think Oogie Boogie is definitely something that I've warmed up to. Like, because I don't know if I would ever consider myself like a huge Nightmare Before Christmas, but I
Hmm.
get it. I understand it. Like,
Hmm.
I get the characters. I get why people are go nuts over it. And I had the chance to experience the ride a few years ago with the overlay,
Hmm.
and I'm with you, Eric. Anytime you can do two things in one sitting, brilliant. Like keep
Yep.
doing that. Because one, it's fresh for those who've never seen it, but also it utilizes your IPs. So I'm like, okay, you're utilizing Nightmare Before Christmas, and you're also utilizing Haunted Mansion. Great, love that concept.
Hmm.
And like you said, Christian, I don't know if he's a scary, but he's a hoot. Like
Seriously.
anytime I hear the audio of like, you're joking, you're joking. I can't believe my eyes. It's just like, yeah, it's great.
My
It's a
my
good
favorite
time.
my favorite thing I just saw on my social media, like my memories. I
Hmm.
posted on Facebook 4 years ago, so or maybe it must have been longer than that. Whenever it was, that I was outside the parks and I heard a two guests arguing as to whether a character was Deadpool or Darth Maul. It was Oogie Boogie. So, so way off on either. But they thought either Deadpool or Darth Maul were up on the entrance of Disney California Adventure, and I was just like, "This is the stupidest
Sure.
conversation I've ever heard in my
And
life."
that's when
But
we're like,
oh,
oh, the education system failed
yep.
us.
Is there anything better than going through the parks and hearing conversations that are
It's
wrong?
just the
Oh, I
Oh,
best.
love
Oh
it
my
so much.
gosh.
my ear is perked all at all
Yep.
times because here's the deal. So you find out people's backstories in line at those rides. They'll share everything, and I'm
Hmm.
over here like, mm.
Well, and then the real question is, do you correct them or do you just let this go and
Yep.
Oh,
and let more people enjoy this?
I will say just a minor sidetrack. Oh, I correct him. Absolutely. I got in an argument with an 8-year-old child because he was like something something, and he well, first of all, well, I don't know if no, there's no right, so it doesn't matter. It won't be on
All
any
right.
of your list. But he said something about the Black Cauldron, and I said no, that's not right. And then he was like, yeah, it is. And I was like, you weren't
Oh.
alive when this movie came out. And I was like, I know this, and I could literally hand on Bible could tell you that that's not true.
Oh,
And
so good.
his parents were like, kind of like, what? And I was like, no, I'm not gonna let this kid get away thinking he knows what he's talking
No.
about because he doesn't.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
No.
I
Yeah,
Yeah.
love it.
parents hate to see me coming because I'll correct their kids real fast.
Good. I
That's
commend you
amazing.
for it.
I was like,
That's
your job as
amazing.
parents is to teach them in the way it should go,
Yeah,
and you're not doing that
seriously.
right now.
Yeah. Jeez. I love it. Oh boy. All right, Eric.
All right,
Now
let's
you get to
wrap
go
up
to round four.
round four. Let me look at my list and just make sure that I'm okay with what I'm about to do, and I think I am. Yep. This is a villain unofficially no one ever sees. And I know Christian already knows where I'm
Oh,
going
you're
with
gonna go.
this.
Okay, all right.
I'm gonna do it, and I just
Hmm.
mentioned it a second ago. My favorite attraction of all time is Haunted Mansion. I'm taking the Ghost Host. And I know there's always
Ooh.
a ton of debate, right? Is he a villain? Is he? He's the one who's trying to persuade you to be number 1,000. How
Hmm.
is he not? And I know there's a lot of people who will look at a painting and be like, is that him? Is that him? Is that that's why I say unofficially. Because even all the years that I've worked in the park, I don't think I've ever heard what's accurate and what's not. So I'm going to take the Ghost Host here at number 4 from Haunted Mansion.
Hey, that's pretty. That's again. I was like, I don't know if this is a. Is this a villain? I guess. In the storyline of it, Colton, what do you think of the ghost host going round four?
I think that is a clever spin on it, because he is trying to persuade you to be the thousandth ghost, and
Hmm.
he also says while you're on this ride, you have a hitchhiker now. So now
Hmm.
he's pushing a
He's
poltergeist on
adding
you.
baggage.
Yeah, he's adding it to you, and he wants you to stay. And it's like, who wouldn't want to stay when there's a party going on? So
Sure.
Yeah.
he's making it very hard for you not to want to join the living. He wants you to join the dead. So that's an interesting spin on that.
All right.
Never thought
My
All
about that.
right.
guy. My
All
guy at
right.
number 4.
Fine. Whatever. Whatever. I don't. I've never thought of him as the villain before. It's changed my life.
Mm.
But all right. It's cool. It's cool. All right. I'm gonna go to round five, and I'm going to say this
Okay.
right now. Round five is either going to be somewhat helpful or completely ruin this and lose me the draft. But I'm
Hmm.
gonna go out on a limb, and I'm going to take a villain that has already won by the time you get on the attraction. And then you have to be saved by the frickin' Guardians of the Galaxy, except he didn't say frickin'. Give me Tanalier Tavon from the Collector's Fortress, the Collector as I think that I mean the video, first off, it's fantastic and watching them on the screen, but by the time you are in there, you've already been collected in a way. And you're, or I guess maybe not you, but the Guardians of the Galaxy have already been collected. Rocket's broken out, and he comes and breaks you out along with the rest of the freaking Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm doing it. Sorry if I messed up the storyline, everybody. It's not like I just opened that attraction. Oh wait, I did. Anyway, but give me Tanalier Tavon, the Collector, here in round five, Eric.
I had him on the list.
Oh, I
He
didn't.
was he was one of the
Mm,
ones that I had written down. Yeah, and he
mm,
was again, he was probably going to be one of my backup plans
mm-hmm.
if it came down to it. And you went and grabbed your old coworker there. So good for
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. I
Uh,
worked for him actually. Now that I think about it, yeah, yeah.
that's right, you did.
I was the one enslaved by him. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He was a pretty bad guy, let me tell you. Minimum wage. Anyway, let's move on and see what Colton's thoughts are.
Okay, so Mission Breakout is a great revamp of a classic ride in California. A lot to see in that ride, but
Hmm.
definitely like you're starting off the ride caught or like
Hmm.
captured by the
Yeah.
collector, and it's all about breaking out and then going on an adventure. And if someone's stopping me from taking an epic galactic adventure, I consider that a villain. Yes.
Fair enough. All right, we'll take it. We will take it. All right. I'm like, well, is the guest really collected? No, it's just the Guardians. And then you're going to see them get collected. No, but he's the bad guy. And I'm going to take him here in round five. He was one I thought of kind of middle of the draft, and I'm like, no, I'm going to put him on this list at the end, I think. But we'll have to see where Eric goes in round five. Before. Oh my gosh, we're almost done. I'm actually done.
Yeah.
I don't have to do
You are
anything
done.
else. So go ahead,
Nope.
Eric.
You just sit back and listen.
Hmm.
Because with my final pick, I am taking yet another original theme park villain
Mm.
that was meshed into a live action IP attraction. Um, I think I got a little bit more excited about this pick as I was going through my list, and I'm like, do I do it? Do I not? And as we kept going down, I'm like, oh, I think I need to now that I think back of everything. How about a villain who in the very beginning of the attraction just causes so much chaos that you literally go on an adventure? I'm taking Mara as my number 5 selection from the
Mm.
Indiana Jones adventure, which is a
Mm.
villain that, I could it eventually be in an indie movie once we get to Indiana Jones Part 38?
The
We'll
legend of whether Harrison Ford can still walk. Anyway,
Mm.
well, all I know is I hope with this pick, I seek the treasure. Let's see if I can
oh,
get it.
okay. All right.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
Just get out of here. You get out of here. That's a good pick. I thought the
Mhm.
boulder was the villain. I completely forgot about Mara. Regardless, Colton, what do you think of Mara going here in round five?
Mara, that is one that I would consider that like a kind of a sleeper hit. Like
Hmm.
it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's a ride that I did get to try a few years ago. It's a solid ride. And definitely could see them bring that kind of character or the essence of that character into a new movie. If we've figured out a way to clone
Hmm.
Harrison Ford and keep the movies going. But yeah, it's both of these are thrill rides, which is it makes this decision
Mm.
hard because
Hmm.
one you're falling up and down, and then the other one you're on this like great exploration through caves, and why does it got to be snakes? So
Hmm.
yeah, so good choice, good choice.
All right. Well, that is our draft. We have picked the five on each. Now, before we have Eric read the lists, we're going to turn it over to Colton to tell us what we missed. What villains did we miss? I have a thought of what your Pixar one might be that you were talking about, but I really want to know what the first one you think of when it comes to Pixar is, and any other villains you think we missed on this list.
So the one that came to mind for Pixar is Monsters Inc.
It was
Because
Randall.
yes,
You
well
were wearing.
Randall and
Oh,
Waternoose because
oh,
Waternoose
Water
is in
Noose.
in that
Yeah.
ride too, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking of him saying, "I'll kidnap 1,000 children if I
That's pretty
before I let this
terrible.
company die," and so that's the person I think of first when I think of
That's
Pixar is
pretty
he tried
terrible.
to steal children.
Yeah,
Like that's
ah,
very despicable.
it's a great
Um,
villain. I thought
I
Randall because of the purple sweatshirt for some reason I was like, oh wait, I'm forgetting Monsters Inc. And I thought Randall, I've completely forgot about Water Newts too. Yeah.
oh yeah, oh
I
yeah.
did the same thing. Remember I said I was deciding between two? I was
Hmm.
deciding between Bruce or Randall.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
totally had forgotten about Waterness.
Water
Yeah,
News.
water news.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
good
if I'm
one.
thinking of classic
Hmm.
animation, I'm surprised no one said Ursula, because Ursula has a
Yeah,
section in Little
yeah,
Mermaid
she
that
does.
hear her sing her iconic song. Yeah, so there's just a few, but the Pixar one in particular, I was like, I always think of Monsters Inc. That's the one I
Yeah.
think
It's a
of.
great point. And we talk about villains and like I love how like the conversation at least about the Marvel villains
Hmm.
is, you know, whether you agree with it or not, you can understand a side of their story, right? Like you can
Hmm.
understand where they're coming from. Waternoose killing 1,000 kids before this he lets the company die. So that's just one of those where I'm like, I mean, he's just a business guy, I guess. Like, he's just a business tycoon.
That. What's funny is when Disney creates characters that are so focused on capitalism in the midst of their own capitalism, it's so funny to me because I'm just like, that's you.
That's
But
That's you right there.
you
Bob.
I
lost
love you.
the
I know
Bob.
it's you.
irony is lost. Yeah.
Yeah,
Bob,
I'm
is
like,
that you? Oh,
hmm.
jeez, I love it. Well, fantastic. Those are some good ones. And now Eric will run down the
Hmm.
lists of our draft, and then we will get to the big decision. We'll see who wins this episode of Drafting the Magic. Eric, run it down.
All right, here we go. Christian had the first pick today. He went Captain Barbossa for his live action selection. His Pixar selection was Emperor Zurg. His Disney animation pick was Captain Hook, and then he went Oogie Boogie in round four, and Tannelir Tavan the Collector in round five. I went with the Evil Queen at number one for my animation selection. My Pixar pick was Bruce the Shark. Kylo Ren from Rise of the Resistance as my live action pick at three. Number four was the Ghost Host from Haunted Mansion. Number five was Mara from the Indiana Jones Adventure. And now I will turn it over to Colton, who will let us know who won this episode of Drafting the Magic.
Okay, this is the envelope. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Well done. Well
Yes.
done, sir.
Uh, sorry. Are we good? Okay,
He's
great.
gonna do that. He's gonna do
Um,
that thing where he reads the wrong name first,
La
yeah, where
La
I
and then
go,
they have
Land.
and the winner is La La
La La
Land.
Land.
That lives rent free in my mind, just
Yep.
so you know. Okay. Thank you to the Academy, distinguished panel of judges. Um, Out of the picks, my winner of this bracket goes to drum roll.
Oh, it's gotta go in.
Eric.
Yes.
Dang it!
Win streak.
Christian, you were there. You were there. And then
And then I went to
I
Vaughn.
and then well, actually, what kind of won me over and got me to Eric's side was Ghost Host,
Oh,
because
Mm,
I've never thought of that as a possible villain. Because when he
mm.
said Haunted Mansion, and I will say, trying to not show you where I was leaning was the hardest part of this podcast,
Sure.
because I was like, I feel like I'm not giving you any feedback that
No,
works, but I
no.
can't give you I can't show you all
Yeah.
the cards. But first of all, Haunted Mansion is one of my top fives. I love
Mm.
it.
yes.
But I immediately think of um, the Hatbox Ghost.
Hatbox. Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, and so to hear someone not mention Hatbox, not mention Madame Leota, because in some iterations Madame Leota is a villain,
Hmm.
Hmm.
and just say
Constance.
the Constance, yes,
Hmm.
absolutely, Constance Hatchaway, and then but to hear the voice that's talking to you, that's the villain that you can't even see. Like
Hmm.
that was a refreshing take. And then I never had thought about Mara as a villain.
Mm.
And that was kind of like the final nail. So it was I
Holy.
I will say this though. Um, I liked Emperor Zurg because not many people mention Emperor Zurg
Hmm.
ever.
Hmm.
And then Captain Barbossa.
Yeah.
Those are two that I didn't even think of when I was thinking of my options. So I like that you picked Obscure, but I just felt like Eric had Evil Queen. You had Captain Hook, but Evil Queen,
Yeah.
that was a good
Yeah. No,
start. And then
I'm not mad about it. I
yeah,
understand. I'm just mad at
yeah,
myself.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
no. But when you said the collector, I go, I
This
didn't tell you this
idiot.
beforehand, but no, I will say the controversial opinion, but Tower Terror is better. I'm sorry, it is. It is.
Ooh.
Whoa.
It is. I've even had Californians say that to me.
Oh
Like
no, there's certainly a
yeah,
group of people that think absolutely. I
I think Christian and I think Christian, you and I are aligned in this, that we just like Florida's Tower of Terror so much better.
It's
We
true.
didn't
oh
mind
Yeah.
yeah,
ours
Yeah.
going away, and
Yeah.
we don't really miss it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I will say it is one of my favorites, but not when you get stuck on it. Because the last time I
Mm.
wrote it, I got stuck, and we all were in the little car, and we were there for like 20 minutes, and I was like,
Oh my
well,
goodness.
anybody celebrating anything? Because I'm awkward, and I was just like, and this guy in front of me was like, I'm turning 70 years old today. I go, wonderful. We all sang him happy birthday. His name
There you
was
go.
That's
Steve.
so
And
so
then
cool.
we rode the ride with the lights on because they forgot the lights off. And I
Oh,
said, I'm living for this. I love the fact that I do feel like I'm actually in an elevator with the lights.
that's
Hmm.
so great. And that was in Florida?
Yeah, I was in
Yeah,
Florida,
yeah, yeah.
but they were great. Cast members always great.
Oh,
They're like, "Hey, here's a couple fast passes. We know that wasn't great." And I'm like, "I loved it
so
because I could
good.
see everything. It made it even scarier to me." So it was great.
So
I
good.
I love it. I love it when cast, and Christian and I were both attractions cast members, that
Hmm.
when something goes wrong, instinctually we go, we're so sorry we're so sorry we ruined that. And then for the people who go all the time, right? The locals are like, "No, that was awesome because I
Yeah.
Oh,
got to
I
see
love it.
something different." Yeah.
Well, first of all, like and we didn't really talk about this at the beginning of the episode. Like, cast members work so hard, and and I'm not gonna, rake them across the coals, as Ursula would say, because of things that they probably can't control. Like,
Mhm.
there's things in my job that I don't like do well, and it's life. And so it's a big mission of mine when I go to the parks. I'm like, I'm gonna be that person that almost showers them in too much love and encouragement, like to the
Love it.
point where they think I'm a stalker because I'm like, "You're doing a great job. You're doing awesome." And like, if I see anybody yell at these people, I'm gonna take you outside the Magic Kingdom. We're
Oh,
gonna take you to the back side of the Magic Kingdom,
so good.
south side of Magic Kingdom. We'll take you out. But yeah, but these were all good choices. I mean, I was thinking of what was another one that I was thinking of? It was not the Pixar one, but it was oh, Ratatouille. I'm surprised none of y'all said Ratatouille
Oh yeah.
for
I've
Yeah,
Pixar.
never I've never been on it, so I couldn't take it.
yeah, he couldn't take
Oh,
it, and
okay.
I
Yeah.
hate that ride, so I try to forget it. Because I was expecting when they were like, "Oh, it's like Ratatouille, where we shrink you to the size of the rat." I figured there'd be like more than one practical set piece,
Yeah.
and it's just all screens, and I'm like, "Oh, this is all
It's
right." It's
or if you're just like, oh, Goofy and Minnie and Mickey's Runaway Railroad.
yeah,
Goofy
Mm.
is the villain.
yeah,
Goofy is the villain.
the
Oh yeah.
belligerent, the crash. Yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
yep, yep. Anyway, I love it. I love it. Well, Colton, thank you so much for joining us here on this episode of Drafting the Magic, despite you choosing Erik and not me, making me all angry. Want to say thank you to you. Make sure you tell everybody where they can find you before you head out.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Colton in the Castle. I try and post 2 to 3 videos a week, or reels, I should say, in TikToks. But yes, and then if you are going to be in the area, Florida, Disney World in February 2026, towards the end of the month, I will be running the half marathon for Run Disney. So I will be doing the Tangle Run. So if you see me while running, don't say hi because I'm focused. But then after I finish, you can come say hi.
Wait till I'm done.
Once I win, say hi.
It's like a wild animal. Like don't try and interrupt me while I'm running, and don't try and interrupt me while I'm eating, and you'll be fine.
we don't need any villains out on the marathon course.
Oh no, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah. Unless it's a villain's run. Unless it's a villain's
I
run.
wish.
Okay.
They had one in Disneyland, and I'm like, okay, bring it to Disney World. I would love it. So
it'll get out. I mean, especially with Villains Land coming up, it's gonna be there.
They'll have one.
Absolutely.
Well, hey, Colton, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time, man.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Colton. Oh, that's called a winning streak. I'll take it.
3. That's 3 in a row, isn't it?
Is it 3 in a row? Is it 2 in a row?
Yeah, no, that was 3 in a row, man.
Oh. All right. Well, I'm on a little bit of a roll here, so I'm good with that. I seriously believe today was the best draft we've ever had when it comes to these selections themselves. I think they were very unique compared to the things we've done in the past, and that's why, not just because I won today, but because of that. And Colton was great, so I can't wait to keep this train rolling, hopefully.
Yeah, Colton was fantastic. Thank you to him for being part of this crazy topic. I've already thought about a number of ones that we could have gone. Could have gone Stromboli. I was really thinking Randall. You technically see Lotso on Toy Story Mania at the very beginning, and he is the worst. So, we could have gone a couple different ways. We did what we did. Well, Christian loses, we move on.
Here's a few that I listed here. You mentioned Stromboli, the coachman, also on Pinocchio. I didn't put Honest John in there. I guess I could have. I think his was just like a flash in the pan on the attraction. How about this one for off the wall that I considered? The Spider Bots.
Spider Bots, Well, are Spider Bots really the villain, or do they get turned into the villain? Is Peter Parker the villain? Because he's pretty.
I thought about that too.
Anyway.
To be honest with you, I thought about that too. Carnotaurus, right? Could have been the last time we had him on here. You could have gone with oh gosh, what's his name? Who makes you go back in time? See, I know who you're talking bring about. These things up, and I forget their names. And I know he doesn't work, and everybody's mad about it.
The
but
Yeti.
The Yeti.
The Yeti was on my list too.
Yeah. And those ones combined with everything we picked, that's everything. Oh, and Harold. I didn't mention Harold.
Yeah. Harold could have gone to Roger Rabbit, right?
The Weasels.
Yeah, the Weasels were there. I don't know. Whatever. I lost. That's fine. Whatever.
How did Judge Doom not end up on that attraction? By the way,
that's a great question. It's a great question.
And I worked there. I should know this. I never asked that question, though.
You should work on that. That will be your homework for next time. But until next time, thank you for joining us. That's Erik. I'm Christian. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe everywhere that you can. And we will see you next time when it's time to draft up. I'm not giving you that. We'll see you next time.
Have a happy Halloween, everybody. Stay safe out there.